Hello, I'm Game Retainer, and in this video I'll be going over my picks for the best places to loot in 7 Days to Die. I'll be giving all of the coordinates for the Navezgane map, so if you're playing on another map, you'll need to find these places yourself, but they should still be there somewhere. Let's jump straight in. This list isn't just going to be difficult POIs to clear. No, I'm better than that. Instead, it's going to take into account things like POI size, number of zombies, type of loot, and biome. Now we can jump in. I lied before. When it comes to getting good quality loot, your loot stage is the most important thing to take into consideration. My loot stage on this character is 1 because I'm level 1 and I have no skills or anything. I'm pretty useless. The higher this number, the better quality loot you'll find. This will naturally go up as you play, as you loot, as you kill, as you level up, and all that stuff. There are also a couple of other things you can do to further boost your loot stage. The first one is wearing a treasure hunter's mod. This will give you a +5 to your loot stage. It'll also give you more XP, which really does help for boosting that even further and faster. You can consume eye candy for another nice loot bonus that is temporary. It does last 6 minutes. You can buy these in vending machines. They're in pretty much all vending machines, and since vending machines restock daily, you can stack up on these quite easy. The other way to boost it is via the Lucky Looter perk. Each rank of this will give you a nice boost to your overall loot bonus. However, as you can see, I've shown you, I'm at loot stage 1. If I quickly make my way over to the burnt forest and open it up, it goes up to 11. This is a temporary biome boost. That's fun to say. If I go back into the forest and look again, I'm back down to 1. So the biome you're in, the harder the biome, the higher the loot bonus you'll get. If I go and visit Trader Joel, who is in the Wasteland, the hardest biome, and I'll open up this, my loot stage is 32. As I said, this will drop down if I leave the biome, but it will stay up. It gives me a nice bonus while I'm in here. The order of biome difficulty is Pine Forest. The Pine Forest is the baby biome. Then you have the burnt forest. After that you have the desert. I do think that those two are the same in difficulty, or there's very little between them. Then you have the snow biome, and then you have the wasteland. So the biome you're in will directly impact the loot stage you're at. Keep an eye on your loot stage because you want it to be as high as humanly possible. Up first is Crack-A-Café, or Crack-A-Café if you're British, like me. This place can be found at 552 West, 1785 North. And for reference, there's Trader Hugh. There he is. So you're not too far away. The reason why this location beats out the other Cracker book places is because of its balance between number of bookshelves and number of enemies. There are going to be a few, but there's not that many enemies. In fact, you can come in here and clear these out and maybe have to take on 5 or 6 zombies depending on where you are in the game. It's not uncommon to walk out of here with a couple of dozen books in under sort of 5 minutes, if that, to be honest. It's a really good place to come and get some quick books and magazines. If you want to go into the more difficult area, I say difficult, it's not really. You'll find a few more crates and boxes containing lots of nice books and magazines. And overall, it's just a super easy place when compared to the other Cracker Book locations, especially the Cracker Book HQ, which in my opinion is just not worth it, especially in the early stages of the game. This is a fantastic place to come to once you've spent your first lot of skill points and you've chosen what book sets you want to complete. I'd advise heading here first, but not before you speak to Trader Hugh, because Trader Hugh will often have missions. I think they're tier 3 usually, but they do vary. You might find tier 2 missions here as well. So you can come and double dip this location and get double the amount of books you'd normally be able to get. And since this is a trader mission location, you can continue to grind this place pretty often. Every time that the quests refresh with traders, you can just respawn everything inside here and go again, making it the perfect place for those wanting to collect all the book sets. I'm going to keep you with me for this massive journey to the second location on my list. Are you ready? Here we are. This is Super Savage Country. This place can be found at 552 West, 1713 North. And I know you don't need to see it on the map, but there you go anyway. You're welcome. Now, for those who don't know, which I can't imagine there being that many of you, Savage Country is the best place to visit if you want to come and stock up on legendary parts. Be quiet. Things like clothes shelves have a higher chance than most other containers of having a couple of legendary parts in. And as we all know, legendary parts are just crucial. So you can come in here, loot plenty of these. I never counted them all, but there are quite a lot of shelves that you can loot and find them. They go all the way around the shop. And then once you've sort of parkoured your way up and around the top, or just smashed your way through the wall, you gain access to this nice little loot room, which has a healthy collection of stuff. And more clothing racks on the wall, as you can see. And I'm not going to find any legendary parts while I'm filming, because that's just the way it goes. This is a really good place to come and loot at the same time as the Crack-A-Café, because you can do both of them within a day. It doesn't take long. You can walk away with some nice books and magazines, and some legendary parts, along with other armor related bits and pieces. It's impossible for me to make a list of best places to loot and not include Bob's, Boars and Carl's Corn. Anybody who's ever played this game ever should know about this place. It can be found on Navezgane at 352 West, 646 North. And it is just a stone's throw away from everybody's favourite trader, Trader Rect. The reason why this has made the list is obvious. Supercorn. Supercorn is one of the best ways to make money in 7 Days to Die, if not the best, to be honest. And if I go in here and set fire to myself, you can find one supercorn in here. That is the second story right hand window. And you can find some more in the basement. Now, you can come here on day one, and I would advise doing it. You don't have to clear the location. I think it's a tier 3 location, if I'm not mistaken. So you don't have to clear it on day one. You can come up, grab it from there. Just be careful of the fire. Maybe don't use that window, actually. Maybe go around the back here, because you will need to fiddle with these buttons to turn off the fire. But Supercorn is fantastic for making money and making glue, which is something that you will need copious amounts of, making this one of the best locations to loot. It isn't the only place that you can get Supercorn, but it is by far the easiest. So on day one, head here. I mentioned in the previous entry that Bob's, Boars and Carl's Corn is not the only place that you can get your hands on Supercorn. And I wasn't lying. However, this location that I'm going to show you now isn't actually in Navezgane for some reason. So you won't find it there. There's no point in me putting up a location because I'm on a random gen. But if you do stumble across this place, it's the NDC Checkpoint 3. It is a very difficult place to clear. However, if you rock up to the side, smash a hole in the fence, and go to this lovely little building, and say hello to this guy. In here, I've already looted it. In there is the recipe for Supercorn, along with, I think, 5 seeds, but it could be different for you, I don't know. So if you are on a random gen or any map that's not Navezgane, you can come here and grab yourself the recipe to craft Supercorn. Next up, we're heading back to the snow biome. Most of the entries on this list come from the snow biome. I just think they're the best locations for loot, and the nice little loot bonus you get from being in the snow biome does help quite a bit. If you don't like the snow biome, I'm very sorry. Now, Navezgane High School can be found at 440 West, 1780 North. And there's Hugh again. We're in the same town as before. I mean, I might as well have just stayed here, to be honest, but there we are. This is a tough place to clear, but you don't actually need to clear it in order to get the loot. Just like most other places in the game, there's more than one way round. You don't need to fall through the floor, you don't need to trigger every zombie. Instead, you can head round the side of the building and break through this door. Once you've done that, you'll see you'll be behind this locked iron door, and that's good. From here, get any ranged weapon you can and shoot at any zombie you can see. There aren't any here for me because I've turned the AI off. Well, there's a couple hiding, but they're not going to get up. But you will see a couple of zombies. Shoot any of them and they will all spring to life and they'll start smacking down these walls. It won't take them long to bust out. Once they've busted out, you can take them on easily because you can sort of train and run around the exterior of the building and take them out one by one. Once you've done that, head in through one of the holes that the zombies very kindly made for you, and you've got a nice little selection of goodies. Is it the best place? No. What makes it good is you can be in and out in just a few minutes. It is a bit cheaty, so if you want to do things properly and go the way the game's intended, then by all means, completely ignore this entry. I, depending on the play style I'm going for, will come here and clear this early. I also, after I've cleared this, I do like to take this place in reverse, because, well, it's the coward's option, but leave me alone, it's my video. It just gives me a nice bit of a boost. Oh, there they are, as you can see. There are always a few. It doesn't matter what day you're on, you are going to encounter some pretty difficult zombies in this POI, so let them do the hard work for you and break down the walls. The last thing you want is to be stuck in a confined space with a bunch of mutated zombies. Would you believe it if I said we're still in the same town? Well, you should, because there's the first entry and the second entry. And the one I just did is there. This is a really good place to loot, and I'm not sorry for it. This is the Minotaur Theater. It can be found at 552 West, 1846 North, and just like all the others, there's Hugh. This is a tough place to clear out, a really tough place. However, it's also a lot of fun. This is one of my favourite places to clear. If you get your way through and you make your way to the main, apologies for that, theatre. Firstly, I love what they've done with the set. That's just what's not to love. There's a nice selection of goodies. There's also a nice selection of enemies. As I said, it is a tricky place, and under here, I mean, this is a good XP farm. The loot here, it's not the best, but the reason why this place made the list is the sheer number of things that you can dismantle and take down and loot. There's a lot in such a small area. I know it's a big area, but it is also small. The reason for that is because this is an end game POI. Normally, places like the Navezgane prison and other late game POIs are massive and take several days to clear, and they're a pain in the ass, quite frankly. This one is half the size of some of the others, so you'll get great loot, you'll get really tough enemies, so you'll get good XP. What I like to do is get up to the roof, get on here and just fire down, or get my trusty stun button out and just slap the crap out of them. I do love clearing this place. You do also get it quite often in missions from traders, so keep that in mind. You can kind of grind from this one to this one and back and forth, and you can even throw in the mission with clearing the high school as well. So you'll get tier points, you'll get rewards, and you'll get all the good stuff inside, hence why it's on this list. I'm going to finish off this list not with a particular POI, but with a biome. All veteran players will know that the Wasteland is the place to be when it comes to getting top tier loot. Newer players might try and avoid this place, and they absolutely shouldn't do that. Yes, it's challenging, but it's good. Get in here. Once you've unlocked the motorcycle, my advice is to fill it up, come into the Wasteland at night, stick to the roads, unless you've read, I'll show you which one you need to read, because I'm sure a lot of new players will have blown themselves up accidentally. It's Urban Combat number 5. As soon as you've read that, landmines won't trigger when you step on them or when you drive on them, so you won't have to worry about accidentally setting a mine off, because they are all over the place. They're not on the roads though, so as long as you stick to the roads you'll be fine. In the Wasteland you get that nice boost to your loot bonus. Not only that, but you have enemies like zombie bears and direwolves, which can be found at almost every corner, and they are guaranteed to drop an orange loot bag when killed. And the orange loot bag is the best quality loot bag in the game. I do advise getting yourself a motorbike and driving through here at night, using a gun, taking pot shots at difficult enemies, trying to get that loot bag, and going into any old POI. It doesn't matter, don't take on the big ones if you're not a high level. Go into any dilapidated old building, it doesn't matter. You will find good stuff. If I go into this place, I mean this place is usually crap for looting, and if it was in any other biome it would absolutely be terrible. However, because of where it is, it's good. If I go to the building out here and I look in any cupboard or container, it doesn't matter what, I am level 1, it should say on here, level 1. I have no perks, no anything, this is just what I use for recording. My loot stage is 32 because I get the bonus from being in the Wasteland. If I search a desk, which usually wouldn't contain more than a couple of bits of cloth, I get a schematic. There's no guarantee, but the chances are much higher of you getting good stuff, even if it's just a couple of extra pieces than what you'd normally get, so 4 pieces of cloth instead of 2. It's a great place to come looting. It'll make life so much easier when it comes to hoarding a bunch of stuff. If you're like me, I pick up every single thing I see. Oh, sorry, forgive me. Just gonna loot this and leave. I pick up every single thing I see. So take a sweep in the evenings down here and you'll get yourself some really good loot. If you're feeling too worried about going inside, you don't need to go inside anywhere. You can take apart these machines, you can look inside ATMs, shoot enemies, whatever goats you float. You'll have a great time looting in the Wasteland. So they were my picks for some of the best locations to clear in 7 Days to Die. What I made was by no means a comprehensive list. There are other places. I'm standing on one of them now. It's the Navezgane General Hospital. If you want to see another episode where I go over some other good places to loot, let me know, because there's just an endless amount. I went over ones which I feel give you the most for the least amount of effort. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one.